To the people out there listening, to the people fighting for and doing the exact things that for decades have been called impossible or unsolvable, and to the people who want to, I'm going to quote a song originally performed by Cass Elliot and reimagined by Nina Simone. There's a new voice to call in, you can hear it if you try, and it's growing stronger with each day that passes by.
All of our local politicians have the chance to do something about this.
These stats are not just numbers in a speech. These are mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters.
First-time voters show up 18% of the time at midterm elections. Not anymore.
Is there a will to bring morality to this country's politics? Then stand up, speak up, register to vote.
I chose to fight for education. I chose to fight for democracy. And I chose to fight for racial justice.
All across the nation, we are going to be a great generation.
In the past few years, we've noticed a shift in American culture, where the same conversations we've been having for decades are left behind, and the most vulnerable are actually getting up and going out to march, to vote, to forget about tradition, party, and excuses, and instead focus on each other. Kids who have no experience, no education, no money, adults who are frustrated with the country and planet that their children are inheriting.
A child says that you are stealing my future, then people feel very guilty. They listen in a way that maybe they hadn't done before.
I've been inspired by people across the country who were dealt a bad hand, and instead of giving up, had the creativity and courage to say, that's not going to stop me. And how inspiring it is to know that no matter their situation, there's still millions of Americans, young and old, who say, that's not going to stop me.
Financial struggles actually led me to live in a shelter, and being a student, a single parent, it's hard.
My type of eating disorder is anorexia binge purge.
My name is Laura Bustamante, and I've been housing insecure for 3 months.
How many people do you think, in your community, don't know their housing rights?
Yeah, I would say probably more than half of the people that we spoke to didn't know that they were rent-controlled or living in a rent-controlled building.
I'm inspired by the new generation. They're not ones just to solely reach into their pocketbooks and support a cause, but they're ones to tangibly get their hands dirty to support causes they believe in.
People have great ideas, but they don't have the resources to create them. Our world can be so much of a better place if we were to help each other.
To get DMs from people saying I've helped them, it's just really heartwarming, and it makes me feel like I'm doing something good for the world.
We change the world when we allow the ideas in our mind to be fueled by the conviction in our heart. And it's the hearts of young people, of the next generation, that matters most to me, because that's what will motivate us to do the hard things that have to be done.
Why are we in this situation? If they can find their solutions despite being homeless, despite being the subject of racial bias, despite being suicidal, being hungry, seeing their friends shop before them, if the most vulnerable, lost and helpless people have the strength to find solutions, why can't our elected officials do the same? When gun violence is still rampant, childhood poverty is in a high, people are sleeping out in the streets, depression and suicide is skyrocketing, why do we spend any time looking up to people who stay quiet when we should be looking up to each other? With our differences, with all of our insecurities, with the pain we've experienced individually, and the ways we've learned to go through it, no one has the answer to our problems, especially not me, a girl in her 20s. But I'm excited to share the life I've lived, and I'm excited to listen to other people's stories and help them in any way I can. Because your voice is as valuable as anyone on TV, anyone in politics, and the technology now exists for everyone to share their voices if it isn't being represented, and to push for change if their pain is being ignored. All I ask is you to keep listening, to be inspired by the people who choose focused problem solving over anger, and to let the voiceless know that you hear them. Sincerely, Satchel.
Sincerely, Cassandra.
Sincerely, Caroline.
Sincerely, Sam.
Sincerely, Justine.
Sincerely, Harsh.
Sincerely, Charlie.
Sincerely, Karen.
Sincerely, Ethan.